Haven't run upstairs in a while. We would like to welcome the audience and thank you for attending. Viewers may watch Board of Education meetings and board committee meetings live on TV 190 or online at tcaps.net/board. Recorded meetings may be viewed on demand at the same address. Do we have any public comment? All right. So, having no public comment, we'll move on to procedural items. Are there any changes to the draft meeting minutes? All right. Having none, they will stand. Now we are at the agenda review, so I'll defer to Dr. Van Wagner.
All right. So we will have for our December 11th meeting, we'll have our call to order, our Pledge of Allegiance, our approval of the agenda. Recognition this month is Boots for Kids. And so this is a group that's done great work. I've had the chance to know the Schmuckel family and the work that they've done, as well as Golden Shoes downtown. And for quite a few years, I want to say 20-something years, they've been doing a boot drive to be able to give boots to kids that don't have boots. And so it's an opportunity for us to recognize the work they do for many of our TCAPS kids. And so excited to be able to have them here to be able to recognize them for that work. Especially as winter is here, obviously. And just a really, really good thing. We'll have our first public comment. We will have a legislative update, which isn't much because they're not in session and it won't be for a while. and then a lot of district highlights though. Our committee reports, reminder we did not have finance this month. Board office hours report out. We'll have our consent agenda. We have just a small school safety update at this point. A couple of things. Property update with Boardman. Not a lot here, and I can just say, but I have been in contact with Boardman LLC this week, kind of, just seeing where they're at, and everything's still at this point on schedule. So that's pretty much essentially what the report will be, unless something changes between now and then. And then property offers. We do expect to have some information the end of this week from our commercial real estate agent, and we will be presenting that to the board. And have discussion on that at the board meeting. We'll have our second public comment, closed session for purchase or lease of real property. We'll also have closed session for superintendent quarterly evaluation, board president closing remarks, and adjournment. That's it.
All right, any questions?
Yeah, as part of the school safety update, will you be talking about the Frank Road situation with the Montessori school?
I can, from that standpoint. I don't
Just,
know,
I was thinking a brief
how much
update.
I'll have from that standpoint. I have a meeting with Chuck Corrin, the Garfield Township Supervisor, on Tuesday. It really is just a matter of, we've had meetings with the state police, with the road commission, with Meyer, all in one room here. And quite honestly, we didn't get very far. But everything we've asked for has been denied, essentially. And I don't expect for that to be any different by the time we meet. But one of the things we're working towards is a Safe Route to Schools grant, and that would take the township signing off on that, for that matter. That might help. At least one of the things that's being done is that the TAR Trail is being extended from the Buffalo Trail all the way to almost West High School. And that almost to West High School part is what I want to talk to Chuck about, as they're working, Garfield Township is on that, about what can we do to maybe create something there, so kids don't have to walk up the road, the driveway to get to the high school. So that's kind of all that conversation. So that is what I plan on talking about, the Safe Route to Schools part. But, I'm trying to strategize a little bit the rest because I don't have any answers. Meyer, TART Trails asked also to do an element by Meyer, and they were denied by Meyer. And so we had Meyer Real Estate right on the call with us on all, and basically, there's no willingness with the liability, all that. We got Beta to put a new Beta stop across the street on our side, so there's two. There's one in the Meyer parking lot and one on our side of the road by the school at this point. The pad was just poured the other day. So, we're just not having a lot of success in the original plans and drawings and everything for TCAPS Montessori, there was a second drive with a walk that was created there, and the road commission denied the request. They said it had to be directly across from the entrance, the rear entrance of Meyer, where they bring their semis in. And in our drawing, it was just shifted a little bit. And they said, nope, you can't do that. You have to have it directly across. We don't own the property directly
Yeah,
across.
oh my gosh.
There's a house there. And so, therefore, we were not able to put that in there. And then Meyer closed the gate and said they weren't going to use it anymore. At that point, the road commission said, well, if they'll officially declare that, we'll let you put your driveway in. Well, then we had Meyer on the phone and stuff. They said, well, we're evaluating and we think we're just going to put some speed bumps and stuff in and open it back up. And they did. And so that's where we're at. I'm not sure, I was asked by one of I believe the new county commissioners, what an appeal process is. And in law, there is no appeal process to the state police to identify. And that's a recently new change in law that the superintendent has to ask the road commission or state police, and it actually goes to the state highway commission that I believe defers it to the state police for study. And because when I was in Alpena, I did this, and it used to be that the superintendent asked it, it was automatic. And then, so since I was there into this, the law has changed and now says the superintendent may request it, but the road commission and or other state authorities will do a study, a traffic study. And so that was done. I sat right with the state police officer here, and he had said that really there's only 5 kids that walk to that school from the, I believe it's Tradewinds Apartments that's next to Flapjack Restaurant there. And he says, I witnessed 2 days. He said, that's the only kids I saw walking, so it does not meet the criteria for the school zone element that was requested, that I requested. So it was denied. The road commission made the comment that, well, the speed limit is, in fact, if it's what it is, it actually maybe should be 10 miles an hour faster, at that point. And so I don't think they were going to do that. So we, at least at that point, said, can we at least put some flashing signs up and a few things? And they said, well, yeah, you can do that. The law says you have the ability to do that. So we've done that. But, Meyer's not willing to allow anything. The road commission won't let us put a second drive in. And I wanted to hear it with my own ears. I asked everybody to come to a meeting here, and they did.
Yeah, I saw your
And
post.
I don't have a lot of answers right now of, like I said, I don't even know of any appeal process, of what that looks like, to the state police. And I think their criteria is pretty, solid of what constitutes it. It's just, it's a unique situation that people park and they bring all their kids into school and all that, so it's not walking to school. And they're coming from the Meyer commuter lot. And so I don't know that Meyer is crazy at all about anybody parking there. So we've created a car line for now, it started Monday, for people to just pull up and pick their kids up, in that element. And then there's parking at West Middle School and just walk the Buffalo Trail to come right in and pick their kids up. So we're doing everything we can at this point to try and do it, but we're not getting really any cooperation from any of the other entities to do it.
Does that Buffalo Trail get plowed in the winter?
We are going to plow that up to West Middle School parking lot back there, right where the flagpole and everything is, right there outside the storage barn at the end of the track. There's a parking lot there. We put a new light pole there so that it will be lit morning and evening.
So you can get a reflection of the black ice?
Exactly, right. And so, but that will be salted, and when we have we have a John Deere that does that, they're gonna maintain that all winter long. But yeah, I'm a little bit lost, so I need some time to strategize. I'm interested what Chuck's thoughts are. Maybe he has some interesting maneuvers in his, long tooth time period that he can help me strategize a little bit and kind of see what happens. So.
The only thing going in our favor is that there's so many potholes on Frankie Road.
That also was brought up about the road, because it was, what are they doing?
Maybe they won't up
So
the
the road
speed
commission told us it's on their list, but I kind of got the impression that meant like a couple years down the road. So,
limit.
yeah.
But then your numbers probably at Montessori are gonna go up in a couple of years.
I would
So it's
hope.
gonna be even,
I know. I know.
The
It's
speed limit goes up, but the number of students in the building.
it's a conundrum that like I said, I haven't. I've been strategizing for a month, and like we thought if we got everybody together, it was like that didn't work. So it almost backfired. You know, they raised the speed limit. I mean, geez. So
Because I think it's a public concern.
yeah, no doubt. I just, like I said, I haven't figured out how to get the entities. I don't know, based on the criteria that they have to use, that there is anything that they can do.
Helicopters.
Yeah, so,
Well, it would be interesting if Myers wasn't acting in the interests of the children of the community.
yeah. But, you know, and like I said,
What way to frame it.
it would be something that, like, I'd have a little bit of a thing if maybe it was just us.
Right.
But it's also, like I said, Julie from Tart Trails said the same exact thing, that they were denied, you know, in that aspect. So,
I mean, and understanding their liability aspect, but if it is labeled a commuter parking lot, you're gonna
Yeah.
assume that there's foot traffic there.
yeah,
And maybe with even limited amount of time that you could park there,
yeah,
Something like
Yeah.
that. Give them ticketing permission.
yeah. I'm not, like I said, I haven't figured out how to strategize this one, so keep working at it,
This
though.
will be interesting.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, informational items, human resource update. Connie Taylor.
All right, we'll start with staffing. So we've been talking for a while here at TCAPS about the number of eligible individuals for retirement, and we haven't been seeing them, and so we kept waiting for the bubble. We may be approaching our bubble. At this point in the year, we are already have either informally or formally been notified by 15 certified staff members of their intention to retire at the end of the school year. So we've got some internal things in place in terms of we have not done layoffs here. We've found placements for individuals within the district, anticipating being able to place them into teaching assignments as we move forward. So we have that. We also have a number of outstanding student teachers who we're also in contact with at this juncture in the year, letting them know that we're anticipating vacancies. So as they start their job search, they can continue to search here locally. So, and we're also offering them some non-certified teaching opportunities, long-term subbing positions for the remainder of the school year to keep them connected with the Traverse City community, so that hopefully we can tap them on the shoulder when the time comes. And then also for some of them, we're extending offers of employment, placement to be determined at this juncture, so that they, again, can plan on being here for next school year. Currently, we do have a few certified vacancies that we're still looking to fill. We have an early childhood special education vacancy that we've been interviewing for, so we're hopeful that we'll be extending an offer to a candidate. But again, we opened an additional classroom, so that required that piece. And then we have a mid-year special education leave of absence, and we're still looking for an individual to fill that. As you understand, we have some real critical shortage areas, special education being one of them. So if there's anyone out there, retired or otherwise, who's interested in coming back to work now that those earning limitations have been lifted, we'd love to have people get in contact with us for those. And lastly, on the certified, we have a number of maternity leaves in our Great Start to Readiness program coming up, and that does require a special endorsement of early childhood. So anyone with that wants to just come back and fill in for a few vacancies, we'd love to hear from those individuals as well. From a support staff position, we're much better than we were last month. We're now down to just 5 cooks assistants. It's still a lot, but significantly less than we reported the last time that we met. We do have some interviews set up for those, but we're continuing to take applicants. We have 3 special education assistants needed in the district. And so, again, if people have a passion for working with young kids, particularly those with disabilities, these would be an outstanding opportunity to work one-on-one with some of these students. And again, does not require teacher certification, and we're certainly open to training individuals who just have that compassion and care for the kiddos. And right now, as we always say, we're continuing to hire bus drivers. So anyone who's interested, we would love to hear from you. We had 4 additional applicants since the last meeting, so we're getting those folks trained and hopefully getting them on the road soon. So that's it for my staffing update. Just also let you know that we will continue to do our open interviews here in the Boardman Administration Building. Those are for December on Wednesday, the 13th from 8 to 10 a.m. and then a week later on the 20th from 3 to 5 p.m. Again, like I said, you can just walk in. We'll talk to you about our vacancies and consider your credentials and hopefully get you a job with TCAPS ASAP. So. And then lastly, I wanted to just give you a brief update on the policy. As you know, we're starting our transition to Troon. The human resource personnel policies have now been addressed, and we're finalizing those. There were a few that we wanted to send out to other departments because they impact them, just to make sure that those policies reflect current practices and any customizations that those departments might have. So I think we got the last of them back this morning. We were going to be printing off physical copies and mailing them out to all of you to start reviewing the recommended elections, and most of them don't have any. Most of them are just legal requirements, but you'll be able to see those policies, and we're hoping to break them up. So we're doing section by section, so by the time we want to adopt them later on this summer, you will have had ample opportunity to ask questions, express concerns, and anything relative to edits that you might want for those policies. So please be looking for those within the next week or so. And then we're also scheduled to address the zeros and 1000s policies. Those are more of your standard, just board composition, rules and regulations related to the Board of Education. We're doing those in December, and so you will then get those for review in January. Any questions on that process?
How many are we looking at?
Well, for the 4,000 section, and the reason we're not going in order is the 4,000 section is largely our department. So we wanted to kind of model what that was going to look like. What would you say, Kendall? There's probably,
Erica estimated like 700 total of all guidelines and policies.
for the whole,
For
all
all of them,
sections. I
yeah.
think our section is somewhere around 75 policies, but again, they're one sheets.
Okay.
Many of them, like for example, will outline Family Medical Leave Act. And that, you know, that we are subject to the Family Medical Leave Act. Here's the specifics related to that. You know, this is how.
Logistics.
Yes. So a lot of it is just the policies that we're required by statute to adopt, and they're statutory. There's no elections. It's just the legalese that we have to put out there for the public and our staff to recognize. So it'll be a lot of fun reading for you, but which is why we really wanted to chunk it out versus handing you a brand new binder with 700 policies and administrative guidelines in June and say, okay, in July's board meeting, we want to adopt all of these new policies. That's just way too much to try to digest in that short period of time. So spreading it out gives us ample opportunity for you to have the input and opportunity to read and process.
Great. All right. Thank you very much. Moving on to communications update, Ginger Smith.
Great. So the first thing I would like to touch on is the upcoming athletic facility opening at West Senior High School. Our student government there is conducting student polls this week to finalize the 3 potential names for that area. And the plan is for those 3 names to be presented to the Board of Ed and this meeting at the executive committee meeting in January, so that you can start determining your plan for naming that out. We are also planning the ribbon cutting to take place this spring, so we don't need to stand amongst the snowbanks to do that. So more
We
detail-
hope so, at least.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. More details will be shared in January on that detail. So just know that that's coming up. We also have a meeting today with the committee for the TCAPS Academic Excellence Endowment Fund, and currently they have let us know that this year's giving could be up to $8,476 for classroom grants. And so I just want to be cognizant of all the work of the Grand Traverse Regional Community Foundation for their help with this effort, and of course thankful for all the donations that allow for us to have this opportunity for our classroom grants. Finally, I just want to highlight some great things happening around the district in December. It's always such a busy time of year, and just want to give some special emphasis to a few fun events taking place. The following Fridays, December 1st, 8th, and 15th, TCAPS will be serving hot cocoa over by Santa's house. Santa's house is located at Rotary Square, and we will be available from 5 to 8 p.m. on those 3 dates. So if you're in the downtown area and need to have a little hot cocoa, feel free to stop on by. We will be collecting snacks for the Student Support Network at that location, and thankful for our collaboration with the City of Traverse City for their help in promoting our efforts in that regard. On December 6th at 6 o'clock, the Student Support Network will be the grantee of efforts for the hockey night. The teams will be competing on and off the ice between the Titans and the Trojans. On December 4th through 6th, both buildings will have a trailer parked outside their school for the students to collect pantry items to see who can collect the most. That includes everything from food to hygiene, all those items in between. And donations will also be collected at the game. And again, the game is December 6th at 6 p.m. Holiday giving is going on at all the buildings right now. We have many giving trees up, and along with that, some of the buildings are doing Sign Up Geniuses to assist families within their own buildings. The Student Support Network is filling in with where needed to ensure that all kids at TCAPS have an opportunity to celebrate this holiday season. The Communications Department is also working to help promote the work of the Hour of Code. Hour of Code is December 4th through 10. So we have begun that work now. And also the Sounds of the Season with all of our music department is performing all month long. And all of those dates are available on our website and in our newsletters. So that's all I have to share for today.
Okay, thank you. So you mentioned the Academic Excellence Endowment update, that the classroom grants were up to $8,476. Do you know what they usually run? Because that sounds like that's a significant increase.
It is an increase from the last few years. I don't know what the historical giving is. John, do you?
Not a lot. I know I think they've only had a couple $1,000s to be able to do in the past. So this is something that we've started a marketing campaign for, and we have things that people can send in, and so it has gained some more. Because we also have there's a Titan fund, a Trojan fund, a Maverick fund there, and then this is a general overall one. So yeah, we've had some increased giving in it, and so
That's
you know,
nice.
this is something we over the past year we put some time into a little bit and create some avenues to not make it so hard to give for some things, you know,
Right.
in that element. So you know, in our newsletters, we always have things on there of how to do it. We have them even, you know, at financial advisors places to give. And
So these are like grants that teachers can apply for?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so in fact, meetings today, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so I think they have, was there 8 or 10 grants that
Right
were
around there,
applied?
yeah.
So,
Okay, great, nice. Oh, anything?
I do. So you mentioned that you have the different spots for people to come and bring snacks or drop off items for the Student Support Network. What kind of things are you looking for?
Prepackaged snacks is the key that we're asking for. So anything from, you know, crackers that are individually packaged for students. A lot of times our students come to school and do not have snacks. So that is a big request that we receive from all the buildings, is to send over snacks. So it takes a lot of snacks to cover. Boxes of fruit snacks is a good one. You know, healthy, low in sugar would be key, but basically granola bars and anything too, if there's some opportunities for peanut-free snacks, that's also an extra request. So
And do the students have the ability to have like fresh fruit during the day?
many will bring fresh fruit.
Okay.
And I know sometimes classrooms will have, you know, a family bring in fresh fruit for every student. But that's not something that we as the Student Support Network can handle very well, because
Okay.
we are generally filling over the course of a week. You know, like we'll get a request and it may take a few days before it gets there. So sending over a bunch of bananas might not be a very welcomed gift to receive. But yes, I mean, if there's anyone who ever wants to drop fresh fruit off at a building, that is always for sure welcome.
Yeah, I've heard that people asking about that, and I know this in the community, there was a local apple orchard that was donating a lot of stuff, so I got
And we worked
questions
through
about
them.
that.
We worked
Yeah.
with them a lot. The
Several.
Wanch family, I want to say.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, that's
They
one of
did?
them. I
Yeah.
think there was another one
Yeah,
too.
and so in
Yeah.
fact, if you go to some of our buildings, you'll see pictures, I think West High School pictures of them and, the local, because Tom has done a great job of our farm to school grant. We were actually one of the original first grantees in that program. And so we buy quite a bit of produce and stuff from local farms to be able to do that. And so we did benefit from that even previous to this new program because they had a large amount of apples that one of their vendors backed out of. And so, but I do know that we've been a direct recipient before and even more from that
Yeah.
across all of our buildings.
Oh, good. So those can, for example, you said go to the buildings, if they can't go to the student support network
Yes.
drop-offs, but like
Yep.
go to the cafeteria or
Well, so
something.
both of our high schools have pantries on site, so they could potentially
Yeah,
work
that'd be
with
the place.
each
We-
high school
yeah.
to go directly there. It'll just save a few days in the
Gotcha.
freshness cycle.
Yeah, we just want to be careful because we can't have cafeteria because we have obviously the USDA food guidelines and things of the food we have to buy. So we have to be careful that we don't get in trouble health department wise, those things. So in a easy case if somebody brings them in and it's there to that element for the kids to be able to eat right there. But as far as any kind of mass distribution, that has to be done through our food service program. So, but again, if it's the person that says, hey, I've got some things here of bananas, like my suggestion would be to get with the liaison at the building, and they may have them right there with a kid, from that aspect.
And each building has a liaison, so there is someone at each building that can assist.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do they need drinks too, like juice boxes or anything like that?
It certainly would be welcomed. It's not anything we've asked for since we can always provide water bottles.
And it's more concentrated sugar usually when
They have some
They
that's,
have some that are,
yeah.
they're lower.
low or
Yep,
no
they do.
sugar, yeah.
The key is as many times we can use all sorts of stuff, especially that's packaged and non-perishable, across the board.
And not packaged at home, but packaged.
Correct.
Correct.
According
Correct.
to food safety standards.
Correct.
I'm not bringing you all my applesauce.
But from
Yeah.
everything from canned soup to
Yeah.
crackers, all those kind of things. So we'll find a place for it. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely.
That it'll get used.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate the conversation about donations and giving. It's that time of the year, and holidays are hard on some of our students and their families, and so it's important to keep them at the front of our minds. And if anyone is in the position to make some donations, they would be greatly appreciated.
Very much so.
Agreed.
Do we have anything else? Okay, so our next executive committee meeting will be Thursday, January 4th, 2024, 9 a.m. in this room. Thank you very much. Everyone have a great day.